We're going to do something fun today. I'm going to pick out one mold from the top 4 manufacturers that at least I bag and I have experience with that I think would work for any beginner, intermediate, advanced, or professional. Let's jump into this. The Envy and the Pyro from MVP are my 2 picks, the Zone and the Buzz from Discraft, and then from Discmania I got an FD2, I've got a PD and an MD3 to choose from. So many good ones. And I got the Flat Top Firebird and a Halo Destroyer from Innova. I want to put a balanced bag together. And I want to run this back. I want to know what you would pick. I'm going to go with an Envy for my putter and mid-range slot. We're going to talk about the Envy. We got the Zone, probably the most balanced approach disc you can get. And then I'm going to go with the PD. The PD has been one of my favorite molds of all time. So we're going to go with the Color Glow PD, the Dark Maul. And now it's kind of up to the last choice here, Flat Top Pearly Firebird, or, of course, the Halo Destroyer. But I've got the PD. We're going to go with that Flat Top Firebird. The goal for me is going to be to shoot 1,000 rated round. It's not sanctioned. This is just a practice round. But 9 under at Bill Allen in these conditions would definitely be 1,000. So that's what we're doing. 250-foot shot off the start with the Envy. We're excited. Got a short putt to start. And I do have a dinosaur-themed outfit. You know I themed the bag. Apparently, I was like, I got a dinosaur hat and shorts. I'm going to go find a dinosaur shirt. We're going to pick up the first birdie with my Cotton Candy Monster PA3s. These things have been working well for me. Moving on to hole 2 here, which is going to be a very, very low ceiling. I mean, you've got about 4 feet going with that Flat Top Firebird. And I had a big tailwind that as soon as this thing popped up in the air, thought it was going to go OB. But luckily it stayed in bounds. We're 1 under so far. This would get to 2 under. The wind caught underneath the flight plate and just held it up enough. But we'll take, 1 under through 2. It's kind of what you want. 2 is not a gimme, but 3 really is. Going with the 4-claw zone here. Just flexing it over a little bit. Giving it an ace run so close. So close I had to, been working this pink PA3 as my thrower in the bag. Decided to give that a throw. Right off the band. I have hit metal chains basket at least 50 times and I've never aced this stinking hole. It's only like 170 something feet, but one day I will. So close. I really like how this thing flies. It is becoming my go-to throwing putter. Super overstable for all the PA3s, and this one is about a 250-ish foot shot. Went with the 4-claw zone there with a forehand. Had to go from a knee, unfortunately, just from edge of circle. Sometimes I should do this more often. Just throw the zone in. Next up, we got a 612-foot par 4. Going PD. Had a bit of a tailwind, so that helped me launch this PD well over 400 feet. I knew that thing was going to be down there. All I had left was maybe a 150-foot little standstill approach shot. Wind knocked it down, but I tried to account for that as I was thinking about what to throw there. You can just see the wind is probably 15 to 25 mile an hour gusts today. Just watch what happens to my Firebird on the next hole. But I was pumped at least to get that birdie. So it puts us to 2 under. And I threw that Firebird pretty flat. That ace trace is accurate. It was a roller coaster. I was like, that Firebird better make it back in bounds. And, it was so windy, I couldn't even tell where it was coming from. Felt like it was in a hot air dryer. It's absolutely awful in Texas when this happens. But was able to play the wind right. Actually, I aimed left of center, and it pushed it back in, which was great. Then we're going down to a 331-foot par 3. It's tucked behind those trees. Went with a flat top Firebird. I have a tailwind here. So that Firebird, normally, if I'm flat ground, no wind, 275 to 300 max, and that went probably, 360, thanks to the wind. Almost. I thought I might actually be able to put that one in. I couldn't even see the basket. And we'll taking a little bit of an unfortunate kick in the spot there. This one, honestly, I thought this headwind was going to get the disc. Pull it over. Didn't really do it. But that's just, the Firebird's so good. I think that was probably the right choice from the disc manufacturer for that one. And then going with the Envy here. I hadn't really thrown the Envy much, I guess, but hole 1. Just so softly throw this thing. The Envy for me, also this went off the cage right there. Otherwise, I mean, like, we had some ace runs today. One of these days, I'm going to snag some out at Bill Allen on camera, and we're able to take this one, get another birdie here. So we're not doing too bad. I think it's like 5 under through 9. No, look, a Shopify order just came through as I'm filming this. Let's see what sold. Going with the Envy again. We're doing this whole thing live, recording the whole thing. Also, there's a dude just walking straight down the fairway, which is lovely. Terrified me as I threw that, and we parked it. That was definitely first take, I promise. Me doing that. But okay, looks like we sold my old Star Destroyer. I died. So who's this going out to? Christopher, enjoy this one. As I do not enjoy that PD throw that I just launched straight in there, but luckily it didn't go in the water. I probably made it 100 something feet off the tee here. Went with a 4-claw, little flex, trying to use as much of the fairway as I could, and snuck right between the spot I needed to with that tree. Sure is nice. Oops. Sure is nice to start to learn these discs. Sometimes you just got to take a couple discs around, you'll really learn them. So you're able to get a birdie there after I thought that was a par at best, and whoops. Sometimes this little swivel mount just does this. Didn't get the recording on this one, so I was like, all right. I tried to forehand the PD to get it down. It's like a left to right sort of a shot, and I said, all right, well, at least I'll get the something on film. So I decided to throw the Firebird. Also tried to turn on me again. I need to work on that. And this was even in a worse shot. But at least we got this one on film. I know that PD was up there a lot closer, but it's kind of a boring shot. I kind of wanted to challenge myself here, so I took this one. Ended up throwing this 4-claw through those trees. Much tougher shot, but again, showing off some of my favorite molds. The Zone's one of those that is probably the best disc from Discraft's lineup other than the Buzz. And then something here that I wanted to just note and talk about is, you know, if you're struggling to get the putt on the right direction, angle, whatever, just act like you're shaking the basket's hand. Sometimes that can help. We're going off the tee here with a forehand roller. This is a par 3. It's almost an impossible. I think it's an impossible 2 because it goes so far left. Through a forehand roller with a PD off the tee, the skip shot is not there with how ridiculous this grass is. The Zone I mostly throw forehand. I think most people know the Zones from the forehand approach slot. It's probably the most balanced disc from the, I would say, the approach category. You can go backhand, you can go forehand with it. I like it mostly just for forehands. It's a great putt, by the way, to get, just to save the par. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to. So the Zone's amazing. The Envy's amazing too. But sometimes I find the Envy acts more like a mid-range. This one was just straight in the headwind, by the way, so didn't really show off its stability. At low speeds, the Envy is pretty solid at getting back into, and with high speed throws, I'll show you one with the tailwind. The last hole we play behaves extremely differently, which is kind of unique. Like if you're a higher arm speed player, maybe it's better to be bagging the Envy as a straight putter. Anyways, we're going here, 485 foot shot. One of the wildest wind pickups on this one, like I couldn't even get the ace trace to really do it justice, but got down there pretty decently. In this one, you know, sometimes forcing yourself to only have 4 discs makes you throw different shots. Like this flat top Firebird is probably one of my favorite discs I have. Also, this was, I promise you that was all. Yeah, shout out to Hayden for always getting me with those. And this one is, again, a Firebird straight into a headwind. I kind of liked not having the pyro in the bag so that I could throw the Firebird on approach shots, if that makes sense. Hit the tree there, it's not a big deal. But like even this, I'm shielded a little bit in the wind, but as soon as I throw it up, it's going to get into the wind. Sometimes it's nice to throw approach shots with the Firebird instead of a Zone. The Zone probably would have gotten beat over by that wind that we were dealing with. So just something to think about. Sometimes too many discs, too many approach discs, I'm really talking to myself, is a problem there. These guys let me play through, so thanks to those guys. Ended up throwing the Envy off the tee here. Some crazy wind pickups, little elevators, and you can just see how straight that Envy is when you throw it full speed. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. I think for like pros and, you know, more advanced players, you got maybe a higher arm speed. Envy is a great straight putter, even with a tailwind. And then this is it. So this is to get to 9 under. This was my goal. Wanted to take this seriously and make sure that I got this putt in. Had a little bit of a tailwind here. And I ended up hitting right off the center of the pole, and it spit right back out. I got a slow-mo here at the end so you can see exactly what happened, but that leaves me one short. I could not believe it. One short of what I was trying to hit with only 4 discs, trying to shoot 1,000 rate around. We didn't do it, but it was still fun. I want to know if you had 4 discs from those manufacturers, what 4 are you picking? Because I'm going to run this back. See you in the next one.